Alright guys, I deleted the video like a while ago, but, because I had plans to redo it, but I'm gonna do like another one of those things where I go over the, like, history and stuff of Departing Now, because I still think it's kind of cool, and I also have a lot more than what I did when I first posted that video. As I said, I deleted it, so you can't go watch to see what my original collection was, but anyways, let's get started! So, we're gonna start. We're gonna like go numerical order, year-wise, of who was released in what year. So, we're gonna start obviously with Thomas the Choo Choo. Look how dumb he is. Thomas, along with two others, were released in 1991. This is the RC version. I have a set that I'm not gonna show because it's really big and annoying to like get on camera, and it also doesn't set up. I also have his 1992 motorized box. His faces and name board would be in there, but they kind of are laying down here. This box is not in the best shape, but it's definitely the better of some of the better like condition one of some of the other boxes I have. But yeah, this is the RC Thomas. You can only get him through a set. Here's this cool little remote. I don't have any batteries in Thomas. I typically don't store the engines with batteries in them. The remote I don't really care about, because it's easy to clean the contacts without dismembering the whole thing. Alright. I know I have them gone through number order, but the next guy that... Oh, okay. Next guy that was released was Henry. Oh, I also forgot to add, Thomas obviously comes with Annie and Clarabelle, of which I do have out-of-box counterparts of. I'll go over like faces and accessories like more towards the end of the engines and stuff. So yeah, Henry. He was also released in 1991, and he came with two green express coaches. I do not have an example of him in box, as I am poor. Nah, I'm not poor. It's just I honestly couldn't find one. And Splendid Studios bought the one I was gonna buy, so it's whatever. Henry's pretty cool. All these guys do work. I saw through to go through and make sure they all run. So we got, the next one was James. Because yeah, that's what the original trio was going to be. Thomas, Henry, James. So this is the James. He was also released in 1991. He came with a truck and a van. So that was your way of getting freight rolling stock. The way with the tender engines and such, I'll show it with Percy when I get to him. But the tender engines, plus Bill and Ben, you take the boiler / saddle tank off to get to their batteries. So yeah. So then, the next year, being obviously 1992, we saw the biggest, or I guess kind of biggest growth in engines, where we got Gordon, Percy, Toby, Donald, Douglas, Bill, Ben. They're up here. You can't really see them. Terrence, Bertie, and Harold. And Henrietta, if you count her, but she's a piece of rolling stock that has no face. But alright, I'll start with Percy because I want to show you battery area. So with the tank engines, it will just Thomas, Percy, Toby. You lift the back open like that. So yeah, Percy came with, well, his rolling stock, which was very weird. Breakdown train, which I think this has it. Yes, it does. Mine has a really unfortunate crack there, but it's supposed to have an opening and closing door, but it is, there we go. It's very stiff. The end of the thing does have hooks on it. It's also a magnet. It's very cool. It does have an actually chain winch, which I've only ever seen ropes on these things, but yeah. Alright, next guy, Gordon. He was also 1992. Gordon and Percy's prototypes are actually on this box, so Percy's right there, Gordon's there. But something that is very hard to find with the Gordon and Henry is this front like truck. It's also very hard to find them actually, or find. Oh, one of his drivers just split in half. It's not hard to find with the blue engine, like obviously Thomas Edward Gordon is them in blue. Typically the sun turns them like green, but I was lucky enough to find a blue Gordon and a blue Thomas. Gordon came with 2 red express coaches up until 1995 when he got switched back to his green ones. And then Henry ended up getting the red ones. However, in 1995, when you would buy the single release packs, you could only get them in push-alongs. So Thomas would be a push-along, Henry, Gordon, James, and Percy. Everyone else was dead. Anyways, we're going to go to Toby next. Toby's now the first one in the chain of engines that we have went through that did not come with interchangeable faces. Probably because he's a square. Toby's prototype can be seen behind the sheds at, in the Tip of Sheds box. So, this is, Henrietta is a very dark chocolate brown, which is very interesting. This is also these were the first of the Departing Now that you actually could take the buffers off for some reason, which makes it kind of hard to find Toby and Henrietta, or Toby or just Henrietta, with all buffers. Another thing that's hard to find with Toby is the details on the top, and for whatever reason, his battery cover is impossible to find. I don't know why these guys are, well, I know why these guys are dusty. They haven't really seen the light of day in a while, but this is a complete Toby. Interesting fun fact, Gordon and Toby were the only engines in the Departing Now series, minus the narrow gauge engines, to never come with name boards. Next, we're going to do Donald and Douglas, their package deal. Oh, I forgot to show Percy's box. Hang on. Put these guys back. I thought about it because I have Donald and Douglas's box. Here, I'll show Percy's. So here's Percy's little box. Very small. He's cool. Oh, that's me. Oh, well, I don't care at this point. I've posted so much content. Anyways, Donald and Douglas. You probably, if you're watching this, you've probably seen the Famous Eights video, or Steve the Weave, who also did a video, which his Donald and Douglas are actually mine. The ones he used in that video. So, Douglas is push-along, Donald's motorized. You want Douglas to be motorized, you take their battery covers off, disconnect their tenders. So then put Donald's boiler on the push-along, Douglas's boiler on there, and then you just pull a missing coach. Yoink. Boom. Now Donald is push-along, Dougie is motorized. And just for my correction's sake, I'm going to flip them back before I put them. These guys also did not have interchangeable nameplates. Or, no, not interchangeable nameplates. Interchangeable faces. I just put Douglas with Donald's tender. Douglas, why are you masquerading with Donald's tender? Like that one quote from Missing Coach. That episode that never came out. Anyways, they did not come with any rolling stock. Because they're dumb or something, I don't know. Next to Bill and Ben, the flower pot trains. No, that's a lie. Basically, same thing as Donald Douglas. Ben's push along, Bill is motorized. If you want to make Ben motorized, just flip the saddle tanks. These were also the only. Okay, he died. This is also the only Departing Now tank engines that you take the saddle tank or boiler off to give them batteries. Which actually, I'll demonstrate how these guys work with. I'll do it with Bill. No, yeah, Bill, because he's already here, and he's also probably one of my more reliable engines. So you stick a battery. The tender engines and Bill and Ben use C batteries. The tank engine use 2 AA's. Unless they're Thomas, then they use 2 AA's and a 9-volt battery. Specifically the RC Thomas, that guy right there. So then, here's your wand. It's very long. And then you just take it and you just you just tap it over the cab. They take it off. They take off. Then you hit it again. Shut it off. Or it's more if you do this motion to go forwards, this motion for stop. A very common misconception that these guys go backwards. That is not true. Quite literally, only the RC Thomas goes backwards. And I'm tired of some people getting that wrong. I know the arrows on the top are confusing, because it shows it pointing backwards. That's more of it just saying, hey, this means stop. Anyways, now that we're done with 1992, I am going to show Donald Douglas's box, actually. Unfortunately, the funnel on Donald is, like, ripped off. I think that's Donald. I associate Douglas with that face, so that's Donald. So here's their box. I have one of their nameplates in there. I do have both of their nameplates. They're just in a separate bin that I'll get to more towards the end of the video. Now, you may notice there's some of the standard gauge engines that I didn't talk about, because he was only released in 1993 and a few months of 1993. Edward. This is Edward. Hang on. This is Edward, obviously. He is by far the rarest departing now engine, because Bandai decided, you know what, this guy sucks on corners, we're gonna, like, cancel him before 1993 even ends. So, it is very hard to find departing now Edward, especially for a cheap price. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't help contribute to that, because I sold my first one that was in the original video for like $250. It was on an auction, so y'all can't blame me. He's based off of a James chassis, so he's very long. And his whole reason that he was canceled, or at least what I speculate, is when he was on like a corner or something and his rods do that, these push down on the rails and lift up his like rear end, so he just can't move. He basically just Joe Swanson's himself. Now, much like James, Edward came with a truck and a van. And I have him with his box, because I have two Edwards because I am greedy. And no, I'm not selling them. I'm not selling one or the other. The unfortunate part is I do not have the name boards. The Edward in here has his whistle broken off. But yeah. It's a very sun-faded box. I paid like $70 for that. That was very, like, not fun. I was in, like, my English class fighting, like, I was fighting on the phone under my desk in, like, a bidding battle with someone. And then I had to present at, like, I had to go up and present something. And it was, like, at the 5-minute mark of the auction. So I was very upset, because I thought that I was going to lose. And then I didn't. Now I'm going to show the rolling stock before I get to the narrow gauge engines, because I forgot to do that. Red Express coach. The green Express coach is completely identical, minus the fact that it's green. I already showed the breakdown train in Clairville, so we got a troublesome truck. I should have grabbed better condition ones. I got a troublesome truck and a van. The van's cool, only on one side, because it has opening doors. So that's cool, I guess. Alright. Not much. Like, 1994, they had kind of, killed him. These two were removed. Bill and Ben were gone. Edward was also gone, obviously. And it was just kind of Thomas, Henry, Gordon, James, Percy for a year straight. Or at least they stopped producing those guys. Edward was just, like, completely canceled. They had overstock of Toby, Donald, Douglas, Bill, and Ben. So they made, like, different boxes. I'll try and find a picture one to throw on screen. But I classify them as the long boxes. Because instead of it having, like, the big window like you saw on, let me grab, like, Percy's or something. Instead of having, like, this big window, it had no window, it just had a picture of what you were getting. And you could get all the characters, minus Edward and these losers, in that style of box. I've been trying to track some down, but I've had no luck. Then when that style of box was over, we hit 1995, which officially removed these guys from their roster, leaving engines 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then they decided, you know what? We're going to bring in the narrow gauge engines. So we're going to start with the weird 2-packs. Scarlovi and Sir Handel, they came with 2 red narrow gauge coaches, of which I do not have anymore. So that's sad, but you could never get them in motorized. They were always push along. So yeah. They're kind of cool, I guess. They have, like, really big couplings on the back for some reason. And they are incredibly, like, their faces are incredibly accurate, which is very, very cool. I think this video might actually be shorter than the first one. The next set, which I actually do have a box of, is going to be Renace, Duncan, blue coaches, although I only have one that's out of the box. Yoink. So here's like the back with their little caricature things. So yeah. Renace has like the longest side rod ever. And then Duncan. For whatever reason, Renace is like easier to find than Duncan, but they were released together, which makes no sense at all. And then on to the last pack after I put these guys away. Come on. Alright. Truck. We got Duke. And Peter Sam. You would get 2 trucks in the pack, but again, I only have 1. Peter Sam was my first narrow gauge engine. I got him like many moons ago. For whatever reason, I sold him. Oh well. Then Duke, I have gone through 2 Dukes. This is my final one because he actually has his tender. Duke is also the only narrow gauge engine to come with a tender because, well, he's the only narrow gauge tender engine besides Bertram, but Bertram didn't exist. Duke is also the only Departing Now engine to not have buffers. So that's cool, I guess. These guys are going to go back now. They never made Rusty because, number 1, they wouldn't have an engine to pair him with. Number 2, he's a diesel, and for whatever reason, they never liked making diesels. Now, I guess it's on to, like, accessories, or... Actually, I'll do track, because it's very quick. Standard Departing Now straight track. Standard Departing Now curve. These 2 pieces, if you do not have... I feel sorry for you because you cannot make S-bends or little yards. You got a little male and a female piece. They are like very small. So they're very easy to lose. I believe these would sometimes come with Percy. And I think that was your only way of getting them. So yeah. Then we have a short straight. I'll pull up a regular one. I believe it's like... Yeah, it's like... I don't know what percentage that would be. It'd be like 65% of a curve or a straight. Then you got a right hand switch. They're designed very much like Tomy switches. And then you have a left hand. I don't know why the left hands always have this hole in it, but I've never found one that does not have that hole. Then, for whatever reason, they decided, you know what, we're going to change the way the track looks for 1995. So we got this, where it just has, like, smaller sleeper holes for some reason, and one of them, 2 of them are just filled in. I will leave one of these pieces of track out, because I will need it to demonstrate accessories. These 2 pieces you need, or else you can't use the Knapford Station, which I'll show later. Because it's like a different height to get on there. Then for Tidmouth sheds, which you can see the box there, you need these pieces. They typically come with 3. I do have all 3. And yeah. Then you have the switches for Knapford Station. They are the only like 3-way switches in Departing Now, and they are not compatible with literally anything other than Knapford Station because of their awkward height. Alright, now it's time to get on with like accessories and stuff. So first we're going to start, we have this really cool crane. You can only get this, there's a multi-pack that'll get the rest of the stuff out that you could only get these in. That's my phone stand. So you can only get the crane with pull hopper, a water tower. You get 3 of those boxes. I only brought one out because I see no point in bringing others. And then a cute little tunnel. Now, if you were lucky, I believe it was 1994 with this accessory pack that you could get a truck with it. I don't believe, actually no, that truck did have a face, which was very cool. That you could just get a truck through the accessories packs. Now, there are some like trackside accessories that attach to the track, like a telegraph pole that just kind of sticks in there. Then you got a signal, which it's weird because it has a little swinging thing here, and then you can lift it up, push it down. I got to get out a separate straight track to demonstrate another thing. Ow. I just stopped myself trying to grab a piece of track. So with this track is made specifically, I'm only going to put 1/2 in because I don't feel like it. They're made for crossing gates. So that's cool, I guess. I don't know why I'm holding my phone. I could just bring my phone stand back up. I lied. This video is not going to be any shorter. If anything, it's probably going to be the same length. I think that's stuck in there now. I'm going to have to cut that out. Alright. So now with actual destinations, Marin Station. This was the station you would always get in like train sets. So the Thomas and James set, which I don't have. The Percy and Express Coaches set, which I also don't have, but I plan on ordering. The Thomas starter sets, which I have one of from 1995, and I'm not going to bother getting it out because, again, it's boring and annoying to get out of the box. So then, I'm going to pick up the phone now, and we are going over here. So this is Timus Sheds, 3 berths. If you want 6 berths, you buy 2 of them. You just happen to have a spare turntable then. Knapford is the exact same way. You have to buy, technically, you got to buy 3 of them so you can have another canopy for the center. I tried to buy a 3rd one from JP Fans. Do not use JP Fans. They tried to charge me $500 for shipping. So I just caused the demise of a Departing Now Knapford Station because JP Fans is greedy. Oh, you could also get this cool windmill. Oh, okay. That's just gonna go back over there. I guess I should show you like the scale of these things. So here's a Departing Now Thomas. Here's a Tomy Thomas. A Wooden Railway Thomas. Bachman Thomas. And then a Take-Along Thomas. Yeah, they're very large. They're practically O scale. They're like Lionel, but actually made correctly. Oh, and just for funnies, Lionel G scale Thomas. He's so big he doesn't even fit in the frame. But like anyways, this is like all I got for you guys. So